Hi guys, welcome back. Episode 14. Me and Kevin back again. Unfortunately, we have to be in the same clothes as last 2 weeks ago episode because we had to record it on the same day. So you're going to see this 2 weeks after, but we had to record it on the same day, unfortunately, just due to a couple of recording things. But we're going to get the episode out to you. That's all that matters. So this week's episode is going to be pre-season. So we've done the tournaments last week, and this week is going to be pre-season. So pre-season is quite hard for the kids. I think the coaches like to push their kids, especially in pre-season. So, to you, what do you do in pre-season?
I try to get their fitness up as quickly as possible, because we have lots of people that go on holidays, and we're talking about those people that go 4, 5, 6 weeks. And then as a coach, you think, why? Do you know what I mean? But you can understand, because when we go on holiday, they're thinking, why? Do you know what I'm saying? But fitness is important. You want to do it as a team, but it rarely ever happens. You know, half the team might be away. You might have 4 or 5 players, if that. Sometimes, depending how big your squad is. But we'll try to get a lot of fitness going with the ball as well, because not running without the ball. They need to know how. They need to feel the tightness with the ball at their feet as well. That's what I do. Try to get lots of friendlies in, tournaments if tournaments are going, and that's the main things. You know, fitness, tournaments, and matches that will get them back up and going if they've lost any stamina or even to lose any weight that they've put on during the summer.
Yeah, I think definitely becomes harder pre-season because, like you said, a lot of kids go away, and I think for the first part of the season, I think we seem to struggle, and I think a lot of people are still coming back. I think luckily this season, the season don't start till October, so it gives you a whole month of really from the kids coming back in September. Because normally in pre-season you'd really only have a week to prepare with all your kids really, and a lot of them would have gone away from the whole of August and coming back at the last week of August, beginning of September. So I think it becomes hard then. So what seems to be the focus of the pre-season rather than what you do during the season? What is the focus in pre-season that you don't do maybe in what you do during the season, for instance?
I literally think it's the fitness side of things. I mean, during the season, it's a lot of ball work, a lot of tactical ideas for the game, for game situations. Pre-season is more fitness, and then we can try to concentrate on a bit of, you know, tactical information regarding the game. But because you feel like if you don't have the fitness, the players can't perform what you need them to do on the pitch. Regarding the season, if they're midway through the season, the fitness should be up because they're playing week in, week out, going to training twice a week or once a week, whatever it may be, and they can perform what you want them to do. But when it's the start of the season or friendlies, some are feeling sluggish, especially those people in the midfield. I mean, you tell them to track back. It's like you're asking them to do something impossible, and then that's why we need to get the fitness in, and that's what I do. I may do more fun fitness drills, so it doesn't seem like it's a chore, like it's some sort of slavery. Like, oh my God, these guys making me run for like half an hour. I'm not trying to make you run for half an hour. Then, you know, it's working on speed, agility, quickness. You know, maybe if I do a shooting drill, it will require some fitness in it as well. So they love shooting, but on the back of their mind, they don't know they're doing a little fitness drill.
Yeah, and I think that's what you need to make sure that you're doing with pre-season with kids, is making sure that whatever you do is still fun at the same time. Because in our heads, we need to make sure that they're fit and ready for the season. But in their head, if they know that all they're going to be doing is fitness, they're going to be like, what's the point of me turning up for training? But I think, like I said, in our head, we need to make sure that they're fit, and fitness is going to be hard. and you need to push them to their limits and making sure that the pre-season is working them hard so that when it comes down to the season you are more ready than your opposition that you're coming up against. Pre-season friendlies, is there anything that you would look for in a pre-season friendly? Like pre-season friendly, is there anything that you look for?
At first I would look for teams that in and around our level. I wouldn't want to go and beat a team 12-0, 12-1. It's happened this season already with pre-season, but I did not expect it to be that scoreline. I expected it to be much closer. So I think one of the games ended it early, which I have no problem with because the boys weren't getting nothing out of it, and the other team was losing, and it just didn't seem right. It's pre-season, the boys are there for their fitness, and that's what I'm looking for. So when I get a team in around my level, it will work the boys hard, and when they work hard, their fitness will go up. I would look for a team that's stronger than us as well, so then that will really make them work hard on the pitch, and it's better than someone that's just a little bit weaker than us. So generally, we could also see our level now. We get to see the level because pre-season, new season means new players. New players, and it could also mean players that have left or maybe are not with the squad no more for whatever particular reason. So when the new players get embedded in, you also want to see their level. So you want to play some teams at a higher level to see can they handle that, because if your certain core players can handle that, can they add to that? Are they one of your starting 7, 9, 11, whatever it may be? So that's what I kind of look for, and eventually I want to see how they listen to the instructions before the game. Like, are the particular players in there, like a left back, centre mid, a striker, the goalkeeper, are they doing what's required of them on the pitch?
So, is there anything maybe during a pre-season friendly that you would maybe like try and experiment rather than what you do in like the season game? Because I know in my pre-season maybe I would try players in different positions to see how they perform, and I think I've seen some players that some coaches in game in season move players from here to there. Maybe that's because they practice them in that position, but I know a lot of the time they haven't tried it then, they just put them in there for no apparent reason. But I think in pre-season it is good to move players. Do you ever do things like that?
Yeah, I always do that because as players they always think you want to play them there. They think, oh, I can play there, I can play there. I'm like, I'm sure I know your best position, but it's a friendly. Show me what you've got. If you was a centre mid, but you think, oh, I could play right wing, okay, then I'll play you there in a friendly, and show me what you got. How good can you be, and how effective can you be as a winger in that position? If they do really well, and you're thinking, oh, hold on a minute, maybe I've got to tweak one or two things, or maybe when you think, okay, my right winger's good, but maybe if he's not having a good day, well, I've got him now that I've tried, and he can really do well in that position. But then again, when you change positions to people, you got to think. Now, a lot of players are, if I put a centre mid into right wing, for example, like I just said, now their whole, mindset of the game is completely different. It's now, they've got different instructions, different attacking responsibilities, different defensive responsibilities. And I always wonder when people want to switch over to positions, are they aware of those things? And that's why sometimes I'm just like, not really sure. But changing positions is what I do. A formation as well. I might change the formation just to have like a backup. Like if we're losing a game, if I use this as an attacking formation, will it work? Will it be stronger? I don't really go for a defensive formation. It's not really my style. I feel with the balanced formation that we would have, I just expect my team to work defensively hard to make it hard for the opposition to break us down. Yeah. But I wouldn't do a thing where I'll play like a 5-4-1 and just hold off, unless I knew I was playing a team that was amazing, out of this world, where we're going to be under the cosh for like a majority of the game. But then with that, it's something that I would have to know in advance. When you're at the older age groups, you would have an idea because of the league table, how well they're doing. If you're younger, like under 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, 11s, you would have no clue.
Yeah.
Unless you've played them before.
Yeah.
But in even that circumstance, I don't think you tell. Rarely, I don't think you would tell your boys, look, you're basically gonna park the bus at that age.
Yeah.
It doesn't really, it doesn't really make sense, especially with the lack of players. Then you just literally have nobody up front. So, yeah, so change of formation will do, but an attacking one, not a defensive one. We know how I've taught my boys how to defend and have a low press. They know that, but we're never just going to sit back and let the opposition attack us. I think we would leaving ourselves, to nick a goal with majority of the teams that we play.
Yeah, I think it's always good in pre-season to change up the formation, change players' position to get them used to something that could happen during the season. Like losing, need to go and get the next goal. Can you change it to a three at the back, 2 wing backs? For instance, maybe sometimes the player might not be here. This player may need to go and jump in that position. So I think it's always good to rotate in there.
No, 100%. What I was thinking as well is new season's coming. Well, new season is basically here. I've got my first friendly could be in next week, Sunday or something. I was even thinking of getting a new tactical, like board or whatever, because I've got like a little book. I've got a book. You open it up, it shows the pitch, and it's got the little counters. But then I'm thinking I'm going to 11-a-side now. Do I want the big one? The white one.
Yep.
I was thinking I might use that one because it's 11. It's more clear. My one's not as big, so then I feel like when I told the players to gather around, I kind of like holding it and just showing them, and sometimes like, oh, can't see, you can't. But there's quite a few of them. Do you know what I mean? And then they start acting like idiots when they're like, "Oh, move, man! Oh, why are you touching me? Oh, he's touching." I'm like, come on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I might just get a bigger one where I can literally like pull it here, and then they just stand away, and then they can all see everything. Yeah. So even as a coach, that's something I'm going to change. I'm just going to get a bigger tactical board, and I think there's more space to write and etc. So that's something for me. About you gonna 12? I know you're changing age group, so anything you change going forward?
I think what I like to do with pre-season is experiment in players, see where they like to play, more watch the game to see what I can do in training. I think during the season I'm more vocal because we've worked on what we need to work on, but I think in pre-season I like to watch players, see what they can do, see what their strengths are, but see where their weaknesses are as well, and more watch the game and just sit there and see where we need to work on. Right, that first touch is not good from him and him. That's what we need to work on now, is that first touch, and more see what the players need to do and let them play whilst they are playing without giving them that many instructions. See what they need to work on, is what they need to work on is there. That's what we need to do in training and pre-season coming up, and then hopefully pre-season we can get them mistakes out of the way and then put them when it comes to the season and we know what we're doing.
Yeah, I think something I look for in pre-season as well, I look for the leaders in the team to lead. Like, obviously that works when you get to a certain age, but I'm thinking about so many things like regarding the team, like how they can be more structured, because when you get older you either get a bunch of really good boys that are focused, or you get a bunch of boys that are a bit up and down.
Yeah.
And there needs to be that sort of leadership where you think this is the structure, this is what's going to happen. But for that you need, for example, if you want your captain to do the warm-up, that captain needs to be on time.
Yeah.
And then if you want certain this person to do this and that, then that person's also got to be there all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like when it comes to set pieces, corners, all penalties, stuff like that, I want to do in pre-season. I want to have sessions on those. So when it's a free kick, when it's a corner, when it's a penalty, you don't need to argue, oh, I'm taking it, I'm taking it, I'm taking it. We know what's going on. People are in their positions, and I don't need to say anything. It's a corner, I just watch everyone do what they need to do. That's something that's so key in pre-season as well. I really want to get that done before the league starts. I want to know who my corner takers are. I want to know who my penalty taker is. I want to know if it's a free kick on the left side from 15 yards or from the right side from 15 yards, who's taking it. If it's from 30 yards, who's taking it. Defensively, who's the line, who's organising the line. stuff like that in pre-season I look to try and do. But then again, it depends on who's coming to training. As you said, the season starts in October, so September they should all be at school. So there's no reason why in that 1 month you can't sort all of that out.
Yeah, I agree. Is that I think now, especially this season, we've got more time to prepare. We've got a whole month from when they come back from the beginning of September to the beginning of October now. And that September period is looking at players, seeing what they can do, seeing where the strengths are, seeing where the weaknesses are, and then putting it into the pre-season games that you have, and then looking at them and see what they can do and what they can't do. Is that right? This is your strength, this is your weakness, and just writing it down in your head and mentally noting where this player is going to make most use, corners, whatever you said, free kicks, down the wings, delivering the balls in, and things like that. Your throw-ins, how quickly can you take them, who's going to do it, and things like that. Looking at it in training and then put it in the pre-season games, is that then when the season starts, you know what's going to happen, but also the boys know who's doing what and who's got what responsibility.
Yeah, 100%. It makes life so much easier as a coach. Like, you know, like you said, the ball's gone now, who's taking the throw in. Sometimes I see like centre mids take the throw in or stuff like that just because he's got the longest throw. Like, yes, it's certain situations by all means, but I feel there's no need to take a centre mid out of his position. While if it's the left back that's there and he's got a decent throw, why can't he just take the throw in?
Yeah.
So, you know, stuff like that really is useful. Regarding new players as well, if you've got your team for pre-season, do you look for that extra addition, or do you say at a certain point, okay, the season starts in 1 month, this is my team? But if somebody was to come in 2 weeks before the season and needed a club before, he's a great player, but if he comes in now, I've got to take someone else out of the club that's just done pre-season, well, not out of the club, but out of your team that's just done pre-season with you. Do you take that person out, or do you want a deadline day like in real football? This is my squad now. If you've come in after, you're not in my squad.
I think yes and no. I think if they're a player where they're roughly around the same level, then no, you don't want that. You want the players that know what they're doing. You know the players that you've worked with them through the pre-season. You know what they can do. Like, you're going to work with them if they're roughly around the same level. If there's somebody that comes in that's above the level and that's good, then I'd say, yeah, probably I'd say get them in. Try and get them through your pre-season, tell them what you want from them, and then put them into that squad. But I think on the same level, then it's not worth it, because then you need to go through all your pre-season when you need to work with that player again.
Yeah, no, I think that's true as well. Roughly same level, it's not worth the hassle, especially when that person can be a key part of what you need to be doing. I think if a special player came in, then you would obviously take him, but I feel like I would want a specific cut-off point. No more players coming in, but then you'll say there's a special player, then you don't want to leave them out, which is the only issue. But regarding pre-season, when players come back overweight, not overweight, but you know, they've put on a bit, like footballers do. They go away for weeks and weeks, and then they put on a bit of weight. How would you give them extra to do, or would you just treat them like the rest?
At grassroots level, it's hard. When they get into maybe a semi-pro level, then you can give them maybe a dietary program and stuff like that, and give them extra training, tell them go into the gym and stuff like that, especially with the older lot as well. If a player comes back at under 10 level and they come back from the whole of August, and they've been away from the whole of August, they've gone back to their home country, for instance, and they come back overweight, how do you say to the parent he's put on weight? Like, the parent may see it, but how do you go by telling them he's put on weight, he needs to lose it? Like, it's hard, it's not easy, because he needs to, because otherwise he's going to be far behind from where he was before. But I think when it becomes a little bit older, it becomes a little bit easier to tell them what to do. But at a younger age group, it's hard.
Yeah, they'll take offence to it.
Of course they will, yeah.
It's calling my son fat.
Yeah.
Call my daughter fat. How dare you?
And it's exactly that, and that's what it is. It's that it's hard to go and tell a player that how, if they've put on weight or if they've lost their footballing level. And I know some players, they still work whilst they're on holiday. They're practicing their kick ups, and I've seen loads of players do it as well. But I think at grassroots level, I know loads of players just go on holiday and forget about football. And I know sometimes it's a good thing for players, especially at a younger age. They need to get their mind off of football. It's not just football. But when they come back, as a coach, you're working with these players and they haven't been doing any football now, and you become a bit more stressed now as well because they're a little bit further behind in what you wanted them to be. So I think working with them players, I think you have to push them that little bit further and a little bit harder and just say, yeah, this is what you can do. Offer them that one-to-one football training, that one-to-one sessions here, this is what I do. Give them some ideas of what they can do because you're that step behind at the moment.
So, how much would you recommend one-to-one sessions with players? They might not be, not the ones I put on weight, just in general during the off-season.
I'd say pre-season stuff like that, just whilst they're off, is always a good thing to do one-to-ones because it's not group training. It's not sessions where you're doing passing, dribbling drills and stuff like that. You're not doing a group drill. It's more individual, working on that player, keeping in shape, still working on that technical ability, but also that fitness aspect as well. Is that making sure that they're still keeping up their technical abilities, but still with their team as well, and still with the ability that they know when they go back, they're still going to be able to do what they did before.
Yeah, I thought so as well. I thought as well, you know, when they can work on their position, you know, I thought they do have that boost compared to people that haven't been working. I think for the season just gone, my team had a brilliant pre-season in terms of the numbers that were there. A lot of them did one-to-one sessions with me. We played lots of games, lots of friendlies, and then we started this season on fire. Like, I think we won the first 3-4 games, and we blitzed teams apart, like literally 8-2, 3-0, 4-1. And those were teams that later on in the season, the team we beat 3-0, well, we didn't play them again because of they forfeited for whatever reason. But the 4-1, they came back to ours and we drew 2-2. And the team that we beat 8-2, we lost 4-3. But that was the difference, because I told the parents, some of the parents, I was like, look, we're looking so fit right now. Like, the team is running up and down, up and down. Like, we're looking like we're ready for the season. Some of them players, by like within 10-15 minutes to go, they were huffing and puffing. But my players were up and down, up and down, up and down. Later on during the season, well, they're well into the season now, the fitness levels are even battlefield. And then the scoreline changes.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, that's the difference of pre-season. You go up when you're ready, when the whole team's ready, and they go up against a team that may not be ready. It may not be the football that will win, it's the fitness that's going to win you the games.
Yeah, but it's that goes the same with all age group. Is that the same from youth into professionals as well? If you have a good pre-season, all your players there, they work hard and you push them hard, and you've had a lot of pre-season games. Once you come to the season, you'll always start off the season well, and it's the same at the Premiership level. Is that you get that good pre-season, you know what you want from the players know what you want from them as well. They've got it in their head, like they know what the philosophy is. Is that then you'll have a good the first half of the season as well. It will feed into the season as well. The pre-season will go into the season. It will just naturally flow in. But it's the point of the transition from pre-season to the start of the season, to mid-season, to finishing it off. Can you carry that on as well? Because then hopefully some teams, if they have a good pre-season, they'll have a good whole season. They'll go on and win the league.
No, 100%. And I feel that's where I had a brilliant start, like I said. But when then coronavirus hit, and then my players were just stopped. Yeah. I only had 1 or 2 doing one-to-one sessions. A lot of them came back sluggish, and then we didn't win the game for, I think, the next 3 to 4 weeks, and that's what cost us the title, because they were all at home playing Fortnite, FIFA. Yeah, so as I was saying, with them staying on Fortnite, FIFA, playing whatever, it really doesn't help. Obviously for them it's cool, you know, they're thinking, I have time off. But then when they get back on the pitch, they really feel the effects of not doing anything. And you know, we know certain players, and we know there's certain players that can miss out on football for 2-3 weeks and they just drop a level. some people can, and some people that stay, they can do nothing for 2-3 weeks, but their fitness levels is still pretty high up. And that's what I feel like some players need to take care of that situation, especially if they want to stay at that level or even progress to a higher level.
Yeah. Definitely agree with that. That's it for pre-season with me. Anything else?
Pre-season, I think one thing that we've missed out actually is you said the new formations and that, but do you think there's a massive difference in preparing for pre-season when you go jump from 5-a-side to 7-a-side, 7-a-side to 9, and 9 to 11?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's hard to prepare for the unknown, what you don't know, especially if you haven't done that aside before. Say, for instance, some managers may have only done 11-a-side and then do a different team and they go and do a 7-a-side game. It's hard for them to know what to expect on the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why pre-season is good. Preparing new formations and do on the pitch, seeing how your team's going to do, but also for yourself, seeing what's going to be different, but not just for the boys as well, because they're jumping from 5 to 7 or whatever they're doing, but also from you doing a different aside next season is going to be hard to prepare for. But that's what the pre-season will give you. Yeah,
100%. Because I remember when I went to 9-a-side, my players were like, "Oh my gosh, the pitch is big and the goal is massive." But you know, from our point of view, it's like, it's not really that big, but you see the massive difference in the pitch size and the goals from 7, even from 5 to 7, and 7 to 9, and I think 9 to 11 is not that big.
Yeah, the goals are not, but I think the pitch size is a little bit.
I think it depends where you go as well.
Yeah.
Some places you go, there's like a small 11-a-side, which almost looks like a big 9-a-side pitch. But yeah, and I feel as much frenzied as you can, because some players are still in shock, like, oh my god, this pitch is so big. And sometimes I feel like they don't know what to do. They just want to run with the ball, and before you know it, they're out of breath. You know what I mean? So I think when it comes to pre-season, the instructions, the fitness, for me, the fitness and the instructions on each particular player's position, what they need to do in an attacking sense and defensively, is the most important for me anyways.
Yeah.
Would you agree? Or
definitely, yeah. It's hard to prepare for that pre-season, for the unknown, but I think the more practice you're going to get, the more you're going to understand that game, and so will the players as well.
Yeah, definitely. In that case, we'll wrap it up. Pre-season wrapped up. If you're watching this, your season should be wrapped up. I think the dates were more or less wrapped up. How do you train your boys during pre-season? Something to think about, or you've taken from me and Michael. Obviously, everybody's different, you know. Whether you're doing girls football, boys football, younger ages, from 7, 8, all the way up to 16, 18, even older than that, you know, you need to know your players, the fitness levels, and what you acquire from them. But we'll see you next time. I think next time we might try and get a special guest, hopefully. Never
a big one out the box.
Fingers crossed. And we will see you when we see you. Thanks again for joining us. It's been myself, Kevin, big man Michael, and don't forget to like and subscribe. If you haven't done it already, just pause the video. It only takes a second or two. Hopefully you've got a YouTube account, and adios.